Hey guys, and welcome to another FM21 Transfer Guide with me, Raxo FM, where today we are looking at 3 signings and 3 sales for AC Milan, a side that have been a little bit disappointing in recent years after some huge success back in the early 2000s and then falling off the pace around about the 2010s and haven't been able to win a league for quite some time, despite the fact that they have some great players: Romagnoli, Donnarumma, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Yeah, they've got some pretty tidy players in there. They definitely should be improving. We're going to find out how we can do that today. But before we jump into today's episode, make sure that you do like this video if you are enjoying the series so far, as well as subscribing to the Raxo FM channel so that you don't miss the daily-ish Football Manager content coming your way with transfer guides and Let's Play series happening all the time. You start off with a reasonable budget for AC Milan, closer to £16 million, and 100% transfer revenue that you come in goes back into your transfer budget. I've worded that terribly, but you get what I'm trying to say. That is always a bonus when we are trying to sell our players. The board want you to be signing players young, so players under 22 is their preferable age range. Of course, they want you to work within the budget. And in terms of the season, they want you to start pushing for the Serie A title higher places in this season by qualifying for the Champions Cup and reaching the final for the Italian Cup and the semi-final of the Europa Cup. So a bit of success. And then in the next year, they want you to start trying to push towards the title, win a Serie A title in the future. So that is probably why they want you to get 22-year-old players for the future who are going to start in the first team 11. So hopefully we can find a couple of those players. But first, we have to get rid of 3. Who are we going to get rid of? Let's find out. The first player, the AC Milan team, have already done me the absolute pleasure of putting him... Done me the pleasure? That's not a phrase, is it? But we're going with it anyway. Of putting this man on the transfer list already. It's Rebic. I believe I've said that reasonably okay. He's a central midfielder, but he's not a central midfielder that's really of the quality that we need right now. Don't get me wrong, I love his all-round stats, but basing him in comparison to the other players that we have, for example, if you take a look at another player that we're going to be starting regularly like Calhanoglu, he's just not quite at the same level, but he does have some decent stats in there, but I don't think he's worthy of featuring in the squad too much, maybe not even coming off the bench too often if you were going to be using him. He's an easy sale in my books. For £6 million, it would be a tidy fee to get. In this save, he's gone to Shakhtar for exactly £6 million. I'm sure you could sell him for more than that. But for a player that we're not going to be using very much, decent stats, don't get me wrong, wouldn't be the worst player to hold on to, but in comparison to the other players in our team, he's not quite up to the standard. I will actually do a comparison with Kessie, because that's going to be a better one. I couldn't actually think of the main box-to-box midfielder in the squad. Kessie here, we can see, is better in just about every stat. The ones that he's worse in are only by a couple of numbers, so I think he's definitely the better choice, and we're going to have to say goodbye to the man. But £6 million, we'll take that. Up next, we've got Antonio Donnarumma, and this man has got to go, because you never need 3 first-choice goalkeepers in the team. He's definitely not a first-choice goalkeeper, but if you compare him with Donnarumma, we're not even going to try comparing him to Donnarumma, but if you compare him to the other goalkeeper that we have, can't actually remember his name, it's this dude, he's just not as good. He's a little bit younger, but this man has actually come in more recently, so unfortunately you can't get rid of him the first season. So it makes more sense to get rid of Donnarumma. £450,000, a wee bit of wage budget as well. It's not a great fee if you do manage to get it, but he's not going to be someone we use. In this save, I've managed to get rid of him to a League One side, and we did sell him for exactly £450,000. So I think that's probably the best fee you'll be able to get to him. A man that we're never going to use. This is definitely the intelligent decision with another second choice goalkeeper, and the board are even happy with it. So there's a positive there. And last but not least, a controversial pick, Samu Costileo. I believe I've actually smashed that pronunciation. He's a right winger / left wing option. He's a decent player, don't get me wrong, but in comparison to the players that we have at the club, we always say this, in comparison to the players that we have in the club, he's not the best one. Even looking at the player that's probably closest in his ability, we can see that they're pretty similar, but Rebic does have a wee bit on him, and also Rebic is a player we can't sell because he just came into the club. So I think he's the best option to sell in that midfield area. We have quite a few winger options, even with youngsters like this Belgium dude. Where is he? I can't find the Belgium dude. There we go. This guy, I'm not even going to try and say that name. But if you compare the two of them, it is a pretty even affair, I will admit. This guy Samu is probably a little bit better, but with the age and potential of this man, you'd definitely rather keep a hold of him. So I don't think he has a whole lot of future at this football club. He'd be someone you'd get rid of in a couple of seasons anyway, so you may as well cash in while you can. In this save, he's gone to Napoli, and we have managed to get £11.5 million for him. It is a loss, but he's not the best player ever. He's not the best option for the future, not the best option right now. I think there is only a logical solution here. Get rid of him. And now, with all of those sales made, we can see that we do have a pretty strong squad, but definitely some weak areas. And of course, I'm going to my favourite place to go, the team report, the squad depth. We can see that striker, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, we've got Mandzukic, Rebic and Leao. I don't think that that is an issue at all. On the left wing and the right wing, however, we can see that left wing is kind of strong. Mandzukic can do out there. Kanaloglu can move out onto that side as well as Leao and Rebic, so decent options out there. But on the right hand side, it's a little bit weaker. Diaz being able to move out there, but I would definitely describe him as more of a left-sided player. Same with this Howell guy, left-sided player as well. Our best option now, because I have sold that player, is now the Belgium right midfielder. He's very young. I think he'd be a great option to start, but this might be an area that we could think about highlighting. Looking at this midfield now, we can definitely see a lot of quality players. Don't get me wrong. Kessie, this dude who I don't know how to pronounce, Kanaloglu, Tonali, all brilliant players. But then you can see our next player, Calabria. He's a right back in my opinion, and he's same down here. Meaty, yeah, he's not exactly the best world-class midfielder I've ever seen, so I would say this is an area that we need to improve, just to have someone on the bench. Doesn't need to be a starter, but someone who can rotate in that position would be a really, really good option. And left back and right back, we can see that we're pretty solidly covered out there. Hernandez, definitely a really good left back. It would be nice to have a wee backup for him, but I think there's a couple of players that can move out into that position, so that's not desperate. We would just need an older player or a much younger player to use as cover who wouldn't even be on the bench. Then we've got in right back Calabria, who can play in that position, and a lot. I think that that's absolutely fine. Centre back though, we can see that we've got Kier, Romagnoli, Tomori, and this youngster coming through the ranks. Don't get me wrong, those are actually some decent options, but I think solidifying that midfield by adding that centre-back position, by adding one more player would be amazing. But in goalkeeper, this is where we do have a wee bit of a trouble. Ignore the fact that Donnarumma's in the squad in this one. I haven't gotten rid of him, but I did sell him previously. Just ignore it. Donnarumma, the actual Donnarumma, is of course going to be our star goalkeeper, and we do have this man in between the sticks as the backup. So you're saying, what's the problem there? The only issue is the good Donnarumma, his contract expires at the end of the year, so we might need to be looking for a new goalkeeper in that position. So going through it, we can see that striker's fine, left wing's probably okay. We've also got a right winger that could be coming into the squad, definitely a position to look at. Central midfield option doesn't need to be a starter. Centre back option again doesn't need to be a starter, and a goalkeeper if Donnarumma does end up leaving. So I feel like I can work with this with a budget of. Oh, I've actually made the transfers in this one and just sent them to the under 23s. But I'll do quick maths. It'd be quick maths. Okay, let's think about it. So we had 15 to start with, plus 6, 21, plus 11. That's 32. Got there in the end. £32 million to spend. We can do that. Our first signing is a massive cop-out. I will admit it is a huge cop-out, but I think it is the most important signing in the entire AC Milan save that you're going to make. And that is signing Gianluigi Donnarumma, I've butchered his name, but you know who I'm talking about, on for another couple of years. Right now, his contract is expiring. Don't let it expire. He's one of the best players. You could go out and sign a new goalkeeper, but honestly, I don't think you'd find a better goalkeeper, and you definitely wouldn't find a better goalkeeper that you're only paying for his wages. Of course, he's going to want to pay wage increase. I think I did spoil it by hovering over him in the old, simulation menu. Not simulation menu, team report menu, but I don't care. This is the most important signing you're going to make. Donnarumma needs to stay in the squad. Everyone else is going to be trying to pick him up if you do let that happen. Best player in the team by quite a wee bit. I think you got to make sure that he stays at the club. Moving on to the signings that aren't really cop-outs, although this one is a loan. it kind of does count as a cop-out as well. It's Riyad Mahrez, the 29-year-old who has plenty of experience and plenty of ability. I would completely ignore that 3.5-star current ability. Those stats tell a completely different story out on that right-hand side or the left-hand side. He is going to do an amazing job for you this season. Don't get me wrong, he has a high wage. You do have an option of buying him in the future. I would definitely not do it. He's basically just a man that you're going to be using for a season for £130,000 a week. That's really not terrible for a man of his quality, a man of his experience. If you take a comparison to him to Ibrahimovic, of course, Ibrahimovic is probably a wee bit of a better player, but Ibrahimovic is apparently impossible to find on this. Where is he? Is he down the bottom as Zlatan? No, where's Ibra? Come on, I know he's in the team. I didn't accidentally sell him. If I accidentally sold Ibrahimovic, that'd be terrible. Is he not here? This is really annoying me now, actually. I'm being mugged off by Football Manager. I'm sure you guys have seen him about 17 times. A good YouTuber would cut this out. Where's Zlatan Ibrahimovic? He's in the team. Who are all these people? Zlatan. That's none of them is Zlatan. Where's Zlatan? This is it. I'm actually fuming now. I'm being made to look like an absolute muck. He's in the team. I'm certain he's in the team. Hold on. Okay, apparently you can't compare Zlatan to... But anyway, he's up £185,000 a week. In comparison to Mahrez's £130 a week, it's actually not too bad. So when you put it into context, this man is actually a really good signing. Not talking myself up at all there. Elite winger. He's going to do a great job. He's got some great stats over at Manchester City. You can bring him in on loan at just about any club. It's a no-brainer. Bring him in for the season. And maybe even a season after that. They're probably going to continue to want to get rid of him. So just pay for his wages for like 3 years. And the final signing is Simon Kjaer. And he is coming... Oh, it's the wrong Kjaer. My bad. Hold on. Where's the other Kjaer? Is he here? No, it's Edger. Don't know how I messed that up, but Kjaer is it didn't really not that similar. I have messed that one up. It's Christopher Edger who's coming to the squad. What a signing this man is. Completely disregard the fact that he has 3-star current ability. I know that he does have the potential to increase a wee bit, but this is kind of the overall that he is going to end up being. But what I love about him is that he can play in centre back, CDM, and central midfield, ticking all of those boxes that you need, as well as being under 22 years of age to tick that box. If you take a look at his past history, he's played for Celtic, and he's done a good job for them. And, of course, he's been one of their best players for quite some time, and he is definitely deserved to move up to the first team in this squad, and being a rotation centre-back option, probably starting a lot of the games, as well as moving into that central midfield spot when you do need him. A bit of cover in a bunch of areas, 6'5", great stats. I know that he performs brilliantly in Football Manager. You got to ignore the 3-star current ability rating, though, but I think for only £9 million, this man is an incredible signing. And I've just realised this is the only player that I'm actually spending money on in this save. So I still have a lot of money left. I've been seriously budget friendly here. And I know that a bit of this money is in installments. So it could be up to £19 million. But even then, still a bargain for a player that's going to take you massively into the future here. And he's going to be a great player for many, many years to come. That's kind of what I just said with a different variation on it. But now when you take a look at the squad, go to quick pick without restrictions, best 11, we can see Mahrez is put in there. Edges not putting in there. Did I call him Kjaer at some point as well? I think I did actually call him. I'm going to just manually put him in there. Donnarumma obviously is in there. We've improved the squad. I'm going to say it. We've improved the squad, and we've also given you £23 million. This is insanely budget friendly. Didn't mean to be this budget friendly, but I have been. And I think they're the best signings you can make as the AC Milan manager. So that's what I would do, and you've still got a wee bit left in your pocket to go with, and that is where we're going to be ending today's episode. I hope that you guys did enjoy it. Someone ended up commenting to recommend this one to me. You know what, I'm going to give you a shout out. I'm going through YouTube Studio right now to find you. I can't actually get it up much quicker than this. A good YouTuber would pause the recording. We all know I'm not a good YouTuber, boys and girls. I'm on the Chelsea episode. It was Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix. Phoenix, you're awesome, by the way. Like, thank you. You actually just comment and like all my videos. I really appreciate it. Keep doing that. Shout out to you. And shout out to everyone that has subscribed to the Raxo FM channel off the back of this video, as well as liking this episode if you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to not miss out on the rest of the content by clicking the notification bell and the subscribe button as well. And I will see you all later. Oh, comment which one you want us to do next as well, just like Phoenix did. And I might do it later.